So Brian and Heather, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
It's the satanic episode. The devils themselves. Rock on. So thank you so much for coming on. Could you introduce yourself and just tell the listeners a little bit about your channel and you?
Sure. My name is Brian. I run the channel Blacktop Devil with my wife, Heather. We ride a 2011 Harley-Davidson Electric Glide. That's our touring bike. We like to do a lot of touring. And then I also have a 2015 Street Bob that's kind of my work bike. And just when I'm alone, that's what I ride. So
very nice. And Heather, you just started riding, correct?
I did. I just got a little Kawasaki Eliminator. I don't know what year. 2001. So it's a little baby bike.
Hey, two wheels is two wheels, right?
Exactly. I'm slowly learning on that. So
now, I guess that's a good place to start. So, Brian, when did you start riding?
Way back when I was probably 8 or 9.
Okay.
I started on a little Honda Mini 50.
Oh, nice.
And that was an awesome bike. I rode that thing for I probably put 1,000 miles on that thing up and down the alley. But then I kind of grew into sport bikes from dirt bikes. And then eventually in 2005, I actually bought my own motorcycle. I got a Kawasaki Mean Streak.
Nice.
And that was, coming from sport bikes, which I didn't ride a ton, but I borrowed my friends' all the time. And we'd tool around town quite a bit. But when I got that Kawasaki, it kind of lit a fire in me for traveling on my motorcycle. And it obviously was not a great bike for that, but my dad and I we'd just take off and go, and I'd be sore. My neck would hurt, no windshield, half helmet, drag bars. And it was brutal, but I was young, so I could handle it. Mm-hmm. And eventually, I met her and started taking her with me, and she enjoyed it, but we needed to get something a little more comfortable for her, especially. And I certainly wasn't going to say no to more comfort for myself either.
Oh, if you're going to make me buy a better bike. I know how that story ends. Yes.
Yeah. So it's been a fun journey.
That's awesome. Now, Heather, did you ride before this, or is this?
My dad, he had a motorcycle. When did he get that? I've been on them, every once in a while.
Okay.
My grandpa had a gold wing for as long as I could remember. But never like what I do now.
Okay.
I never really got interested in them until I met Brian.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So now was the Electric Glide sort of the couple's bike, if you will? Because that's how the route we went. It's the more you ride, the more comfort you need. There's just no way around it.
Yeah, I think there was really no other option. I was definitely wanting a Harley when I got that bike. Mm-hmm. And I think once she sat on the pillion and
I was like, whoa, what's this?
It's like a lazy boy.
Yeah.
So,
the worst thing you can do is take your wife out on one of those bikes. That's what sold us. We rode on the back motor. It's like, how do we buy this? We can't afford this.
Yeah, right?
But it's really nice. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, she definitely got spoiled early.
I did.
What did you refer to? You have the queen seat back there?
Yep, that's what it is.
Absolutely. It's well, you guys ride big miles too, right? What do you average in a year, you think?
Oh, geez, I don't even know. We don't really count. We've obviously been riding a lot more now that we have the channel. Mm-hmm. We were riding quite a bit before that, but it kind of, as you know, it kind of forces you into riding when maybe you wanted to be a little lazy and just, sit inside in the AC or whatever you wanted to do that day. But, gosh, we'll go for one trip for maybe a week, and we'll do either from 1,000 to 2,000 miles on that one trip.
Wow.
Which some people, that's a lot. Some it's not. It's about average for us. Mm-hmm, yeah. And we try to do at least 3 of those trips a year.
Okay.
2 to 3, kind of depends on the year with our jobs and stuff. But we definitely try to do some at least some overnights once in a while.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
I think too, once you, like you said, once you start the channel and you start riding, I know for us that, especially once you get the touring bike, you get bored with the area. So it's like, well, let's go further. Let's go a couple of days out. Let's go more days out.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really cool.
We're at the point now where, here in Nebraska, the roads are really straight, really flat. And there's not a ton of them really. So it's a 7-hour ride to get to mountains or, something cool that we're not really used to.
Okay.
But you're right. It has gotten to a point where we're kind of bored with the area. So we definitely try to go farther and farther and farther.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what got you guys into a channel? Was it something you just sort of started on a whim? I mean, did you have an idea to start it or?
I started my YouTube channel back in 2006, and I didn't really understand what YouTube was at the time. It was right when it first came out.
I still don't.
Yeah.
Everybody does.
And at the time I was looking for I was racing cars and I just needed somewhere to store videos. I didn't, there wasn't like these places to store videos for other people to watch them. You had FTP sites and stuff like that. So I was putting like concert videos up and things like that. And we started watching, I started watching Walterific in 2017. I stumbled across his channel and I was like, this is really cool. And him being a sport bike rider, it didn't really resonate with me 100%. So I kind of looked for people that were doing that same thing, but on a Harley. I didn't really find any right away because I just kind of like partially look in here and there. And then in 2018, we went to, Adam Sandoval had that Bring It Home, trying to break the world record. And I told her, we had done one vlog before that. We went to Sturgis and we tried to vlog it and we just had the GoPro. That's all we had at the time. And we didn't know you couldn't rub your hand around on the GoPro. And it was like,
I messed it up big time.
We get home and we're going through
good.
footage and it's just all you can hear is the hand rubbing on the GoPro. So, yeah. So we never put it out. And then I ended up going on that ride down to Texas. And I told her, I said, I think I want to vlog this. This could be a really cool thing to just log for my own personal, watching when I'm old. And so I vlogged it and it was a lot of fun. I had fun doing it. And the only thing it was missing was her. It was just me and my dad. And I was a little bit sad she wasn't with me because it was a lot of new experiences. And so I went ahead and edited that video and put it up and people actually watched it. And I thought to myself, well, that's kind of cool. Like, these people are watching my video and they can see what I did the whole time and they enjoyed it. So we kind of discussed it and maybe we should make a couple more videos. And we, circling back to the Sturgis video, we ended up editing that anyway. And I put it up as the Lost Vlogs. And the audio was terrible. If it was today, there's no way I would ever put that video out.
Yeah, nope.
But it got so many views.
It did.
And I'm going, oh, this is a terrible video. And all these people are watching it. And they're like, this guy is terrible at YouTube. But at the same time, it was awesome to see that number. It was 10,000 views, 20,000 views, 30,000 views. And I'm
wow, that's awesome.
It's our second video.
Yeah.
And it really helped the channel out, looking back. But people didn't care that the audio was trash. It was a Sturgis video and it was a vlog.
Yeah.
So after that, after I got, everybody wants a little affirmation, at least a little.
Sure.
And after that, I just decided we should just keep doing this. And I know,
all in.
Yeah.
And yeah.
I know it's a very long-winded answer for that, but
no, because I was going to say, so let's talk about all in because you guys have quite the setup. I mean, your vlogging setup to do the, I'm going to screw this up and forgive me because I did actually watch it. You have the video Fridays that you started.
Yes.
Or
We start doing 5-minute Fridays. Yeah.
So you're shooting them with what, 3 cameras at least?
At least, and I'd like to add a fourth one, depending on.
That's all in. Yeah, that's all in.
And it just, you know, I get so stressed out editing, but I want to make. I'm a perfectionist.
That's fair.
By trade, even you know, at work I do injection mold repair, so it's very precise measurements, and that just carries over in my everyday life. So. You know, my videos aren't perfect, but I definitely spend probably way too much time editing them. But I try to make a good video every time I do it. Mm-hmm. So adding in 3 or 4 cameras, why not?
Easy.
I'll tell you what, your audio is on point with that. I really like the way that you're working this. So what is your workflow? You're still editing in
I use DaVinci Resolve.
Blackmagic, yeah.
Yeah, Blackmagic design. And I originally got that because it was free and I'm cheap. And
except for the cameras.
Yeah.
Well, no, that makes sense. It saves money for cameras and motorcycle parts. I'm in. That's it.
Well, you know, and I looked at the prices of some of the other ones, and it was a subscription model, and it was going to be $600 a year. And I was using DaVinci for free, and I was like, this is great. And I eventually got to the point where I needed to use some features that the free version didn't have. Mm-hmm. So I ended up buying it, but for $300 free upgrades, I mean, it's a little hard to use. There's a big learning curve, I should say, instead of hard to use. It's easy for me now. And there's still so much I don't know about it, but I do, you know, I enjoy editing it. And I just, you know, you mentioned in the 5-Minute Fridays, I just learned how to do a multicam editing. So I can sync it up, and then it's just one click to bring whatever camera I want to the top. And that has really saved my workflow time-wise a lot. I mean, that's saved me a lot of time.
That lets you switch with the numbers, because I know Premiere does that.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yep. And just list the camera 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I just select which one I want, and then it throws it up. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
And Heather, you shoot off the back, which I think is an awesome view.
I do.
And it's a safe view. That's what I like when my wife has the camera. Like you had mentioned in one of your videos, it's like, I don't have to think. You're back there doing your thing, and I can just ride.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, is that something you enjoy, or do you feel like you got drug into that?
I do. I really do enjoy it. So, I mean, obviously sometimes I'm like, God, we got to make another video. Like, I just want to go for a ride. But I do enjoy it. I don't edit. I don't do any of the editing. So I feel like if I can help them out with something, I can at least hold a GoPro on the back. So
there's a lot of times she'll just want to sit back there and just zone out. And a lot of times she can't do that. She's got to run the camera, but props to her for doing it.
Well, that's hard too, to find a balance, right? Because it's hard because it seems like that's your time together. And it's hard because it kind of mixes that work with pleasure sort of thing. And sometimes you just want to just be gone and not worry about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It definitely changes vacations.
Big time.
Yeah. We still try really hard to take our time, film what we need to film, and then enjoy ourselves.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, that's a hard balance. So what GoPros are you using?
I have a 5. I use pretty much all blacks. So I have a Hero 5 black, a Hero 7 black, and a Hero 9 black.
Nice.
Don't get a 9.
The 9s, we've had some issues with the 9. I'm trying to work out those, but
I'll just say, this right here has been a nightmare.
Oh, you got 2 of them.
Well, I mean,
one of them an 8.
So I bought one of them the end of the year last year, and I only played with it a few times. And then the other day I was like, I'll sync them and I'll do some video. I got really spoiled because it was doing a lot of review stuff and shooting with my full frame Canon, and your brain just starts thinking that way. And then when you go back to a GoPro, you're like, this sucks. I mean, they are great for what they do. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
The action cameras are fantastic, but they're just not it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
It's so simple. It's frustrating at some level. It's just like,
every time I want to zoom when I'm using it, I was like,
No zoom.
yeah.
Well, you were running into lockup issues, right, with your 9?
Yeah, and I still am. I have a replacement now, and it's locking up on me too. But I'm going to try a different SD card. I've tried 5 cards, and all 5 cards have been locking up. Mm-hmm. But GoPro support promises me that a different card will help. So I ordered the Plus this time, and it writes a little quicker. It runs fine in 1080p.
Okay.
But once I put it into 27K or 4K, it locks up almost immediately.
Well, that, and then you have the whole, they're just absolute monsters in size at that point, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know what I'm using.
Really that big.
I'm using Ultras.
Yeah,
that's
I'm using
interesting.
Extremes, and even the one they sent with it, it locks up on. So,
well, that's not good marketing. Clearly, we're going to send you this card, but it may not work.
It may not work. And then you get on their forums, and everybody else is saying the same thing. It's the card you sent me. It still doesn't work.
I feel bad for some of these companies because I feel like they try and push the technology, but then everybody does. They push it just a little too far, and you're like,
too much of a bleeding edge sometimes.
Yeah, it's that was always the thing with computers, right? You don't want to be the first guy, or it's like buying a phone. You know, that's really funny. So your bike's got just sort of switching channels, but you put a lot of work into your bike. I love your pipes. Your pipes have a great sound to them.
Yes, I love those. They're the Tab Performance medium baffle BAM sticks.
So I know, Heather, you had said that at least your face indicated in that video that the zombies were too loud for you.
They were too loud. God, when did we do that? 2 years ago?
No, it was last year.
Was it last year?
I think so. Last April.
I don't remember if they were super loud. I don't think they were loud on the road, but just standing there having it idle, it was super loud.
Yeah. Going in town, they were really loud when you're rolling through the gears.
Yeah.
But once we got a steady speed and a steady RPM,
it wasn't bad.
They really weren't that bad.
No.
Yeah.
But, with us doing mostly long distance stuff, it just seemed natural to get the mediums to save our ears a little bit.
Yeah.
No, sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. Plus the cameras. I mean, you get too loud of pipes when you're trying to film stuff, especially if you're doing a motovlog. If you have a really loud pipe, it's just going to drown you out. So
you're going to clip. Yeah. I never thought about. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Should put those back on and just try them out.
I should, yeah. I still got the zombie baffles in the shed.
I feel like with the pipes, and I've never had I have Reinhardt's, but I feel like with the pipes, they're fun when they're loud, like when you get on it. But then, like you said, after 6 hours, you're like, oh, stop.
Yeah. So
shut up. I don't want to listen anymore. Yeah. It's like, I want to go into 6th gear and just like be quiet for a while. Yeah. Like, shut up. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's a hard balance with those bikes because it's a rabbit hole too.
It is. And that's the third set of pipes I put on it. My first ones were really loud. They were the Kerry Foss Racing. They were knockoffs from eBay, and they were like the megaphone style, and they were super loud. But they sounded like a dump truck. It was terrible. And so I went with a little quieter one. I went with jackpot mufflers after that. They have a high roller muffler that's they're loud but they're not overly loud, but they're really throaty. Mm-hmm. But they almost weren't loud enough. They were good when I got on it, but these tabs that I have on there now are like right in between them, and I'm happy with them.
Yeah,
I like the decel that it has. I actually finally heard a pair in person, and so I probably thought I was an idiot. I'm like, can you turn your bike on? I've been dying to hear these in person, like, because on the video everything sounds good, right? You know, you're like, oh, it sounds good, but that's awesome. So, what other work have you done to your bike?
Not as far as motor work, not a lot. The only thing I really have done is a stage one. So I have a Roland Sands air cleaner on it and the pipes. And then I do have a head pipe on there that doesn't have a cat. So that kind of freed up some things and made my leg a little cooler.
Yeah. Yeah.
But then we have, a lot of accessories. We have mostly Ciro products on that bike. We have their phone chargers, their cup holders, their foot pegs, their highway mounts.
They make nice stuff.
They do. And we really like it. And we're Ciro affiliate now. So, and ambassador.
Oh, that's awesome. Congrats.
Yeah. Thanks. They're a great company to work with. And, it was a no-brainer for us because we've just been sending them money and then they send us parts. So it's nice to have a relationship with them now.
Yeah. I think some of these companies just need to have a payroll deduction plan. Like just take $50 a month and send me something. You guys did a factory tour recently, right?
We did.
You were talking and that'll be coming out, I assume. I'll be
putting it out in July. Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
I started to edit it today. So it'll take me a little bit to get through it. It's definitely a different video from what we're used to doing.
Okay.
I'm not an interviewing type of person. So it was a struggle. It was really cool to see their whole operation. I mean, the R&D, the development, just how they design things. I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, surprisingly, and you wouldn't really know this by looking at Ciro, but they're definitely a small business.
Okay.
There's less than 10 people there.
Probably
And
about 10.
so that kind of surprised me a little bit. But
I think those are the best companies to work with, though, because they don't have like a whole marketing division, and you can't, you can't talk to people. That's really cool. I had no idea. They were that.
Yeah,
they're big, but their manpower small.
Right? Yeah, it's nuts, and they're all like the nicest people
so
too.
Nice.
I mean, we had a really good time up there. So
yeah, that's fun.
that definitely solidified my choices from picking Ciro for this whole time.
Yeah.
So
Sure, that's awesome. Yeah. I mean, that's got to be cool. It's definitely neat when you get to see like behind the curtain and see how things work. That's got to be really cool. Now, where are they located?
They are in Hudson, Wisconsin, just across the border from like Minneapolis.
Okay.
There's
so that's a nice trip.
Yeah, it was, we had a family deal up there for her family, and we had a graduation to go to, and we were looking at the map and I was like, geez, Ciro's right there.
And we were like, it'd be dumb if we were right there and we didn't go.
Yeah.
So we made it work.
Oh, that's awesome. Did you get to go to the Harley Museum while you were up there? Or?
We did not. We didn't have a lot of extra time, but we left work a little early and
that's awesome. Because I think you said you hadn't seen your family with all this in a while, right? When you went up there?
We haven't seen them for over a year.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. So it was nice to get everybody together.
Forget what socialization's like.
Yeah, right.
You start seeing people works like that. We go in the office. I'm like, oh,
Right?
hey.
I'm not sure how to talk to you.
Yeah.
You look different on the screen. You're like that big on the video call. That's really funny. So what is the way that you like to ride? I mean, obviously you ride touring and you ride big rides, but is there something that you guys sort of gravitate towards? I know you do camping and stuff. Is there something that's your thing more than, other types of riding, I guess, if that made any sense at all?
Mine is not camping. I mean, I'll go, but I don't.
You camp at the same level I camp at. If they don't have room service, I'm out.
Right.
Exactly. I need air conditioning. I need a toilet.
Yeah.
I'm not a big camper. I don't know. I would just like to go on long distance.
Yeah, I think for me, and I think this for her as well, is we like to see. We'll go on rides for just destination rides, and we'll go on rides just to ride. Mm-hmm. But it seems like the destination rides are becoming more enticing for me.
Okay.
There's so much stuff in this country that I want to see, and I haven't got a chance to do that yet. We just have been picking things that we want to see and then go into it. And we're definitely going to be doing that some more this summer. But that's, for me, I think that's my thing, is pick a cool, like a national park or, some national thing, and just go check it out.
We definitely like scenery. We're big scenery buffs. We like to see rocks. We like to see mountains just because we don't see that here in Nebraska.
Yeah.
We have cornfields and cows here where we live.
You can only see so many cows.
It's so boring.
40 years living here. I'm tired of cows.
Yeah.
It amazes me how fast the landscape can change. I drove to Kentucky for work a couple months ago, and going like through Ohio. I've never been through the Midwest, at least in a car. I may have flown in and out, but I was like, wow, it's really flat. And you can see pretty damn far. Like, wow. Yeah.
That's how it is here.
Yeah.
But it's weird. It's like an hour north. There's just hills, and it's the sand hills.
Yeah. And just like you say, I mean, it just changes very quickly.
We live on the border of New Jersey and Pennsylvania. So if you go towards the shore, it's flat to the Pine Barrens. It's desolate. There's nothing there. And then 30 minutes into Pennsylvania, you can be into the kind of rolling terrain, and an hour later, you're in the mountains. So it kind of mixes it up. And I never thought about that, because people say that. And I was like, I never thought about, if you're in the middle of a state somewhere, you may not have the ability to really mix that up.
Yeah. I feel bad for people in Texas. I mean, you ride 12 hours and you're still in Texas, I guess being where we are, we kind of have the luxury, I guess, of going to, we have 7 bordering states that really aren't that far away. So, and
That's
you're
awesome.
kind of in the same boat. I think the smaller states, and kind of.
We took a trip. We were up in the Catskills in New York, and that was just phenomenal. That's probably the best riding we've done since we got the bike.
Yeah.
Or at least the touring bike. But yeah, that's
really the Niagara Falls trip. Is that the same? No, that's farther north, right?
No, that's where we were. So we started out in, it's one of those trips. I have no idea where we went. I think we started out, we camped in Albany, and by that I mean in a hotel. And then we went through PA. We went through PA Route 6. We went up to Lake Erie. We went to Niagara Falls, and then we came. No, I'm sorry. We went to Woodstock. We were in the Catskills, and then that was actually a really cool experience. That was a much cooler experience than I was expecting.
I bet.
It sounds really silly when I say it out loud, but I'm a history guy, and you go to Woodstock and you're standing there and you're like, this looks just like the images of Woodstock. Like you can almost picture the naked people running through the field on LSD. Like it was really kind of cool, but it was also really weird because it sort of attracts the I don't know. There were a couple people there that you weren't sure if maybe they just came out of the woods and they got lost for a few years. Like it was really weird. There was this woman talking to my wife, and she's like, "Oh, you guys ride a motorcycle? In the '60s, I had a scooter, and I rode to Florida." And she's telling me this whole story. You're like, "Okay, I'm not sure any of this is true, but I'm going to go with it."
Sure, that's awesome.
Guy walking a goat in downtown Woodstock.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
That was the whole highlight of the thing. We're walking out, and all of a sudden I'm like, that's a goat. And like not a pygmy goat, like a big goat.
Size goat. Was it on a leash?
Yeah, he's just on a leash, and he's just hanging out with this goat, talking to some girl like he's got a dog with him. And I'm like, dude's got a goat. That's pretty cool.
Interesting pet.
Yeah, Niagara Falls is a great trip if you ever get a chance. That was.
I've been wanting to get up there.
Yeah, it was. I don't think that it. I want to go to Canada because there's a couple of people that I want to see over the border, but I don't think we're ever opening that border again.
Yeah, no
I think
I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, Niagara Falls is a great trip, and then into going through the Catskills and Lake George and going down there was just fantastic. It's great riding. It's just so wide open. Well, I wouldn't say it's wide open, but it's not a lot of stop and start. You can really enjoy the ride, which is really nice. So where is so I guess where's your dream destination? Do you have something? Because you said the States, and I like that too. I think everybody thinks you have to travel internationally to take the world in. And I'm like, there's so much you could travel every year in the States and never see it all.
Yeah, there's so much here that I want to see it first.
Yeah.
Mine changes, I have so many and I don't know that I could put one at the forefront.
Okay.
I definitely want to do Pacific Coast Highway.
I was going to say that.
Yeah. That's definitely at a top 5 for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Beartooth Pass, the Tetons, Yellowstone area.
Yeah, we need to go up to Yellowstone.
We're not that far from Yellowstone. We just have never gone. It's about a 2-day ride, I think, there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Probably maybe a day and a half. I think we could probably do it in, and we just haven't gone. So
someday.
Yeah, I'd say those two for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's wow, that would be great. I'd love to get out west. I'm afraid I'd never come back though.
Yeah, I love riding in the west. Now, that being said, I haven't gone east too much, especially on the bike, but I just love the west. There's something about it that pulls me out there.
Yep.
Well, I think there's the romantic notion, right? You're on a Harley. It's the West. It's that whole, that's the thing I grew up in, it's the whole, you're out in the West and you're riding and it's just, go out to the Badlands or somewhere that's just, it's that iconic Americana.
Yeah. Yeah, you're exactly right. And I feel like that when we rode the desert a couple of years ago.
That had to be great.
Oh, it was so awesome.
Oh, it was the best.
It just felt right.
Now, how many times did you look at your gas gauge and go, "Oh crap, we don't have this"?
Quite a few.
That would be my biggest fear.
Yep.
We did that 13-day trip, and the first gas stop we almost ran out of gas because I wasn't paying attention. I was so happy just to be gone, and I looked down and I'm like. My wife's like, "Why are we slowing down?" No reason. Just slowing it down a little bit. No reason.
Why are you tucking behind the windshield?
Honey, just put your head down. We'll be fine. Throw some luggage off. We'll be all right. We rolled up at the gas station and I hit the thing and it says 15 miles left. And she's like, "What's that?" I'm like, Nothing. We're fine. We're going to be fine. All I could see is like the vlog of me standing out on the highway like, well, this started like shit.
Yeah.
What the hell? Oh, that's funny. That had to be an amazing trip though. I mean,
it really was. It was a lot of fun. Looking back on those videos, and if anybody watching this wants to watch it, it's our 2000 Miles in the Sun playlist. I wish I would have done longer videos. Mm-hmm. That's the only regret I have about that trip.
Yep.
They're relatively short.
You did a really good job on them.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time on them, but I wish they're about twice as long.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard too because, like you said, there's the balance of enjoying it and documenting it, and I feel like they don't coincide some days.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Plus, too, I don't know if it's very hard to. I think Niagara Falls was like that. You take a GoPro and it's cool and it was fun. But you don't really have that awe-inspiring moment of, what it really is like to be standing there,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't capture the big moments for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting for sure. So that's wow, that had to be a great trip.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
Top 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would be your number one then, Heather, if that's top 3?
Probably one of our Colorado trips.
Yeah.
I love Colorado. I love riding the Rockies. That's my favorite place to be.
Yeah. We took a really good trip back in 2011 before we had, the channel.
It was fun.
And we saw a lot of cool things and we got rained on and look, I mean,
those are the best stories.
Oh my God.
When stuff like that happens, this just makes it's like an automatic memory.
Yeah. That was before the full face.
I was so excited to take her on Highway 50 in Colorado, east of Salida, because it was my favorite road that I had ever gone on with my dad. And it was just amazingly gorgeous. It follows a river and there's the canyons and it's just picturesque Colorado. And I was so excited to take her on that. And we went to the Royal Gorge and did some stuff and we were leaving and it started raining and it
downpouring.
And we couldn't see 10 feet in front of us.
Oh.
And we got to Salida and we pulled into this restaurant. It was like a bar. Mm-hmm. And
wringing out our clothes. I mean,
soaked to the bone, didn't have our rain gear on, couldn't stop to put it on because we didn't want to get hit by a car because you couldn't see. It was
really stop
raining
either.
so hard. And they gave us free drinks or a free appetizer or something because we
looked like, so sad.
These drowned rats. Get them a table and a drink. Oh, that's funny.
So that kind of smoothed things over with I'll take some free food.
Yeah. I'm all about free food and free drinks.
Yeah. So that was a great trip.
I always joke that if we pack our rain gear, it doesn't rain.
Yeah, it's true.
We went out and bought rain suits and tried to get prepped for this trip and or for the big 13-day trip. And then we're riding, the skies turn black. And I say to Katie, my wife, I'm like, we're just going to pull over and put the rain gear. And she's like, we don't have it in the bike. I was like, oh no.
That's not good.
But you know what? Like you said, that's probably one of the best stories because there's nothing you can do. You just have to suck it up. And it makes for great stories after the fact. I mean, in the moment, it sucks. But
yeah, definitely.
It's almost after the fact. It's almost that it was more fun that you got completely drenched.
Well, and I think that's the romance of a motorcycle is you're sort of at the mercy of just what's going to happen. You don't really have much control over those things, and it's always a good story later. Like you said, it makes for, it's always fun showing off somewhere like dripping wet.
Yeah. Not at the time, but after the fact.
Or when people are walking in looking at you like, what the hell is going on?
Right.
Yeah. Shut up, Cager. Move on. That's funny. That's, The
best part of that too was after we left the bar, we went to our hotel, which was a little more run down than online said.
You don't say.
Crazy, I know, right? So we get up, we're soaked, so we dried up and everything. Life was good. And the next morning, I have long hair, so I was blow drying my hair, and she was in the shower, and I blew a fuse. And the hotel staff didn't live in town; they had to drive like however far.
Oh no!
There's a note on the door, and I'm going. So we had to.
I had wet hair.
She had wet hair in the mountains, and we had to take off that next day.
It was cold.
Oh.
It was like, I was not happy.
Yeah, the online reviews never seem to live up to the hype.
No, they never do.
So weird.
I guess it had changed ownership in there somewhere, and it just kind of.
Yeah.
When we did that trip, we went on PA Route 6, which when I first started riding, I had a 400 Bergman scooter.
Nice.
And I took it out on Route 6. It was like the best place as a new rider. You didn't have to stop much. So you're kind of doing like 40 miles an hour, just tooling for hours.
Nice.
And I had this romantic notion of how great it would be like to take her. It was, going to be this moment. We get out there and it's like the boondocks. We can't find places to eat because everything's shut down. And I'm I'm never going to live this down. I'm like, that sucks. We were supposed to stay at a couple of places, and like you said, we drove by, and I'm like, no, just we'll just keep going.
Don't look it in the eye.
Yeah, exactly. Don't make eye contact. I had a laugh. I was watching your recent video with the whole porters thing. I was like, that's so us. How come they hide the porters in the summer?
Yeah, it sucks.
That's all we drink.
Yeah.
Nice.
We don't drink a lot of beer, so when we do drink beer, we like it,
good,
a nice, tasty 1 or 2 beers.
Yeah. So you're not doing the whole hipster PBR thing.
No,
one should really.
No, I agree. A bunch of my friends, they're just, I can't do it.
That's the nice part too. The breweries you can always find a good brewery.
Yeah.
Well, generally speaking.
Yeah.
That's always a good time.
And it's definitely getting easier every year. I mean, more are popping up. And,
yeah. So you've been to Sturgis how many times? Because I know you guys have been a few times. More
9?
than a few, probably. 9.
Yeah, we probably have to count, but somewhere around 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there.
So what's your real thoughts on that? Because I know everyone seems like that's the Holy Land mecca of things to do. Does it live up to the hype, or is it?
Yeah, I think it does.
Okay.
It depends.
It depends. It depends on what you're after. if you just want to go see the rally and have people watch and have a good time, it's definitely there for that. I mean, you go downtown, you can grab a seat at one of the bars there and just people watch all day long, and it's it never gets dull. The riding is some of the best in the country. The Black Hills are gorgeous. If you're going to ride, I wouldn't go during the rally. It's so busy, and there's a lot of inexperienced riders there. So, there's a safety aspect. There's a boring aspect. You get, if you're a little more skilled and you want to go around some of those corners a little faster, you're not going to do it because there's always somebody going really slow and kind of backing it up. But, overall, it's a great rally. It's a lot of fun. We have a video, 5 things we hate about Sturgis, and 5 things we love about Sturgis. And the hate video has way more views than the love one. And
people like to argue with us.
We've taken some flack over it, but it is what it is. It's just our opinions. But we still go every year. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of fun.
I like just seeing that many bikes together is just hearing it.
Yeah.
There's just nothing better.
There's a whole atmosphere out there.
Absolutely.
That's,
Don't stay at a campground. We've done that. I'm not going to do that again.
Yeah. I mean, you could stay at the campgrounds for a decent price. You don't get much sleep.
I was going to say there's probably not much sleep to be found.
There are some campgrounds up there that are a little more tame. We haven't found one yet.
Yeah.
But for as tame as we are, more boring.
Yeah. We like to go to sleep early and not party. But
hotels are a little pricey during that time of year up there. So a lot of people camp just because of that, which we found ourselves doing quite a few times.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, if you come out ever for it, holler. We're only 7 hours away. So
that'd be awesome. Yeah. To your point though, I think for us, we're not big crowd people. Like it's funny. I find myself more, especially now with having like a full touring bike, I don't generally like to ride with people, or if I do, it's like 2 or 3 people. Like I don't like within groups. And like you said, it seems like it's amateur hour at any sort of these meetups or fundraisers or, things where you're just like, oh, this is just not, it's like, you get some guy in a Ninja trying to, ride 900 miles an hour in a group ride. You're like, this isn't going to work.
Yeah. Wheeling his way through the poker run.
Yeah. We did it was the second charity ride that we did. The 2 guys in front of us were like ready to throw down by the end of the ride. And I'm just like, for what, man? It's a police fundraiser. Everybody's just having fun. Like, and now you're going to throw down in the middle of the police station parking lot. I'm like, this isn't going to end well for anybody.
Nope.
And I didn't have a YouTube channel then, so it wasn't going to end well for me because I've been like, hold on. Just 1 second. Let me just, hold on.
Let me get this going.
What'd he say?
The cops were called, not clickbait.
He did what?
I thought it was funny too what you said, and I'm noticing it. I don't know if I think it's YouTube in general, but the hate video is always the haters, man. That's wow. And if you ride a Harley, you can stir that up in a heartbeat. It's crazy.
Oh yeah.
People like to voice their opinion.
They do, and people are attracted to negativity. And you put anything up that goes against their way of thinking, it's
let you know.
Harley people, it's almost like politics when it comes to, I mean, you get on Harley's Facebook page right now with their little teaser picture of their evolution to revolution picture, and the comments are back and forth.
Well, it's going to end Harley. I mean, that's what's going to happen. They're just going to go bankrupt tomorrow. There's no way. They'll never survive this.
Yeah. No, this is what they need. It's like, it's crazy. But as far as content, I mean, if you're looking for views, that's the way to go.
Yeah, I did one video having fun with that, and it was just like, wow, this really was no joke. Like, oh crap. It is. I think that's kind of the cool part of owning a Harley, but it's almost the bad part of it is because it's no matter what engine you have, it's wrong. No matter what bars you have, it's wrong. No matter what exhaust you have, it's wrong. And it's the opinions are woof.
Oh, they're all over. But you get all those people in a bar together or on a ride together, and they're all getting along.
Yeah.
Nobody is walking up to somebody's bike saying, "Well, your bars are stupid." Or, it's just an online thing, and you have to take it at face value.
No, absolutely. It's just really funny because everybody's convinced that no matter what the move is, it's going to end Harley, and you're like,
Yeah.
I was formerly an IT guy, and I was like, Steve Jobs, when he died, Apple didn't go bankrupt. So I think we're gonna be okay. We really are. What's that?
Ahead.
No, please.
There's still people that are diehard Harley, and they're still around. And there's young ones, there's old ones. It's,
Well, what gravitated you towards that? I mean, was there something? Was it just that it fit you? Was it something that was more iconic for you?
Towards Harley, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah. My cousins and uncles growing up, like my dad's cousins and uncles growing up, were all Harley riders.
Okay.
And my best friend's parents were Harley riders, and so that's kind of what I grew up around. And then when I finally got old enough that I could afford my own motorcycle, I couldn't. That's why I ended up with a Kawasaki, because it was just based on price. Mm-hmm. But I always knew at some point I would get a Harley, and it's just the iconic part of it. And a big part of it is where we live, everybody can work on them. It's pretty sparse here. I think there's only like 1.4 million people in the entire state. So I could be in some small town, and there's most likely someone there that if I don't know how to fix something, that they'll be able to figure it out. So
that's awesome.
That was part of it. But growing up around all that stuff was almost an indoctrination.
Yeah, no, I get that. I think that, especially from like I don't know if it's a generational thing, because I never grew up around people that rode, but I just feel like it's sort of beaten in your head at some level. It's like having a 1911 45. Like, I don't know, somehow it got beaten into your mind. You had to have one,
Gotta have one.
Yeah, it's just it's definitely iconic. So Heather, are we going to see more of you riding? Are we going to break the channel off? Are you going to spin off and be done with them? Or?
No. It'll always be us, but you will see more of me riding. Yep.
Nice.
Yes.
So are we going to see some dual vlogs, or what are we going to see?
Yep.
That's kind of the plan.
Yeah, hopefully we can make it work.
Yeah, I don't want to. My big thing, I'm an overbearing, loving husband. I don't want to see her focusing too much on talking to a camera right away. I'd rather her learn, the bike, let it become second nature, let riding become second nature, and then kind of get into it. Luckily where we live, it's a small town, and we can probably get away with some early dual vlogging, but
which we did already.
Yeah, which we've kind of touched on. We did one. Yeah. So there's that, but I see so many new riders that are they throw the camera on, and if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do. That's fine. But it does make me a little nervous.
Oh, it's very distractible.
Yeah.
I mean, Katie will smack me in the head a couple of times, because I'll be like, you start drifting off, like, oh, is that light on? What is going on? You start worrying about like what's going on. That's why I think it's great that you film from the back, because that's when we were in the Catskills, it was awesome, because I'm not an aggressive rider by any means, but I'm like, you're on the bike, we're fully loaded down, the rickrack's on the top. I'm like, I'm not going to be distracted. You take the camera, you have fun. You just don't fall off. Or drop the camera, or if you drop the camera, just let me know where it went. But and I think that's the thing too, is that we live in this sort of society where everybody wants to capture everything, but they sort of put the horse before the carriage, or the carriage before. Oh, you would put the horse before the carriage, but you put the carriage before anyway. You kind of get ahead of yourself. Yeah, I don't know. There's a horse involved somewhere. But no, you get sort of distracted from that. I think that's really good advice.
Yeah. It's, you see a lot on YouTube. a lot of new riders doing it. And it's just, you know, I'm like, I know when I first started riding, I mean, there's so many things that you're trying to pay attention to. And then if you're trying to talk to a camera too, it's, you know, just be careful.
Yeah, especially on long rides, it's very easy to sort of just drift off and get distracted.
Yeah.
And it's a shame too, because I think that a lot of people are more worried about capturing it than living it.
Yeah.
And there's sort of that balance of, you know, you want to have a channel and be successful, but at the same time, you don't want to just have a bunch of YouTube memories.
Yeah.
You know,
we
really
struggle
cool.
with that. I mean,
Wow. You struggle with
I
that.
struggle with it.
I'm always like, just put your phone down. Let's just chill. I gotta do this.
You know, I want to get this one shot for B-roll. Hold on. And you know.
Oh, the damn B-roll. That'll get you every time.
Every time.
So we're working on that.
Yeah, we are.
You are. Yeah.
Yeah, but hopefully we can get. I got her helmet set up for a camera, so we'll see what becomes of all that.
That's really cool. Now you're recording what? You're recording the audio directly to the camera and meshing it or syncing it?
Yeah, it's a work in progress, but I was just putting a mic on my earpiece, which I still do. But this last couple 5-minute Fridays, I put a camera on her helmet and just synced them up. That poses its own little bit of challenges that I've discovered, but I'm still trying to find the perfect way to do it. And I don't know if there is a perfect way to do it. I know a lot of people recommend a voice recorder.
A film crew, a helicopter, you'll be fine.
Right? I mean, that's just another piece of hardware I'd have to deal with. And I'm trying to do it as simple as possible and as easy as it can be to edit.
Okay.
That's my goal. But yeah, I'll get her editing it pretty soon, and then maybe I can fiddle with that stuff.
Yeah.
I always like the idea of like, oh, I'd love to have a drone, or I'd like to have this and that, and then you're just like, no, this is going to get so complicated. It's a job at that point.
Yeah, and we actually did that. We got a drone, and I think we've used it like 5 times. I mean, it just takes up space. It's just sitting over here. I take it every trip we go on. I take it, and it just stays in the bag.
It's usually because we're in a national park and we can't fly it. Or, we're close to an airport, or
Yeah,
that's actually funny you say that, because that's what I did. I bought the drone on Amazon, and then I'm looking it up as I'm waiting for the 2-day delivery, and I'm like, everywhere we're going, we can't fly. I'm like, this is pointless. Like,
it's become very hard.
Yeah, I was like, well, you saved me $400, so that was nice. But yeah, and the gear thing's tough too, because I feel like the more gear you get, you either get lost in having all the gear, or you wind up gravitating towards one piece of gear and you don't use the rest of it.
Right. Yeah.
Now, do you have a lot of lenses for your M50, or are you using?
I have 3. I have the kit lens. That's our main vlogging lens. It's a 15 millimeter kit lens, 15 to 45. Then I have the lens I'm using now is a 16 millimeter Sigma, and it's a little more. I got it for B-roll, basically. It's really good glass. I like it a lot, but I don't use it a ton because it doesn't have a stabilizer in it. And then I have a 20.
How quickly we get ruined.
Oh, I know. I'm so spoiled. And then I have a 20 millimeter that I do for pictures. And
nice.
I actually got the 20 millimeter. I was starting to do some game streaming, and I got it for that to get a little closer up, because my camera sits a little far back. And I wanted a little close up, but then I had to quit that because my YouTube channel just got too busy. So I just use it for pictures now. Looking back, I would have went with a 50 millimeter if I was just going to use it for pictures, but it is what it is. Yep. Maybe I'll sell one and pick one up.
Yeah, that's a rabbit hole. Everybody I talk to,
and it's a mirrorless camera. So I'm like, do I really want to spend all this money on lenses? What if I upgrade to a full frame at some point?
I had the M50, and I was really torn about whether I want to invest lenses, because I was on the border of switching, and I was like, you know what, maybe that's the sign of, because like you said, it's like anything. It's like motorcycles. You invest so much money into it. And once the technology changes, you're at the mercy of it.
Right. Yeah.
And that's a tough bill to have to spend.
It is.
For sure.
Yeah. The only reason I've kept it so long, well, other than the fact that earlier I said I'm cheap, I'm frugal.
Yeah.
It's small. I mean, as far as it's a small camera, so it's great for putting in the motorcycle. So that's kind of what's left it with me so far.
That's the one redeeming fact with the GoPro, is that you can put it in your pocket, use it, put it away, and it's just like gone.
Yep. Doesn't take much room.
Yeah. That, and I don't feel like it distracts. You can just kind of use it, it's like your phone. You can put it away and it's gone.
Yeah.
You know,
leave everything
5,000
on auto.
alerts. Yeah. No, for sure. That's really cool. So how long, and I don't know this, how long have you had your channel?
About 2.5 years, roughly.
That's fantastic growth in 2.5 years. That's great.
It's been really good. We've had a couple videos that really pushed us. We've had a couple bigger content creators that shared a couple videos that really helped out recently. But we had that 5 things we hate about Sturgis video that gained us a few thousand subscribers in just like 2 months.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was and which I normally don't. I don't want a viral video. I try not to get, I do appreciate the people that have shared our channel, the bigger YouTubers that have shared our channel. But, you know, if you're a really small YouTuber like we are, sometimes that can be almost bad because you get all these subscribers and they're not really invested in you, and then they don't watch your stuff. So then your videos struggle to gain traction.
Yeah, I had that early on. I hit with a video and it was great, but then, like you said, they don't come back, and you can look at the demographics. You're like, well, you're never coming. I mean, it's nice that you subscribe, but
but you're not watching my stuff. So
you're not really watching it. But if you just come back, that'd be nice.
Yeah. You know, that's the first.
We're still here. Stop by.
Yeah.
And it's hard too, because like you said, you don't know. I mean, I know Sturgis is a hot button topic, so you don't really know what's going to hit, and it's hard too, because you kind of get caught up in how do you recreate that? How do you find that again?
Right, because that
maybe it's the 5 things I really, really hate about Sturgis.
Yeah, maybe.
We despise about.
Now I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a thing about Sturgis that I hate. It's all going to be because I didn't have the money to go. Or
There you go.
I couldn't get PTO.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It'll get clicks.
It will.
Don't get me started. That's really, it's really scary when you see what will get clicks versus, like you said, you put all that time into editing and creating, and then you look at stuff that takes off, and you're like, but I don't get it.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
sorry.
No, I was just going to say it's hard mentally to grasp it.
Well, yeah. And it's like you said, the Harley issues are hot button, but I feel like you have that struggle of, do I do it and get the views, but then I sort of fall into being that person. You know what I mean? Like, you could put out a video about the 1250 customer or the 12, whatever it's going to be, and be like, it's going to be the death of Harley, and everybody will watch it. But then you became that guy.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I don't want to be that guy.
No, if I hit, I want to hit with something that's
right,
that I'm proud of, rather than, some loose thing that just sort of took off. So where do you see your channel going? I mean, what would you ultimately like to do? I mean, are you one of these folks that set out and you have defined goals of, I want to be to, X amount of subscribers at a certain time, or are you genuinely okay with it being what it is?
I'm okay being what it is, with it being what it is, as long as we keep making videos that please us. I know at a point, and we're probably at that point that you need to make videos for your subscribers. But ultimately we do this for us, to look back on when we're older.
Yep.
I would like to do more travel style videos. That's our forte.
Yeah.
That's what we enjoy doing the most. Our job doesn't really allow a ton of it. I hope in the future we can definitely do some more of that, whether it be kick the job out or, you know, something.
Yeah.
But
you can do what everyone else does. You buy a Ferrari, live off YouTube, it'll be fine.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I definitely want to see the channel grow, and I definitely want to see us grow as creators. And, you know, we'll see where it goes. I set goals. I like to set goals, but I'm not heartbroken if I don't hit them. And, you know, I set a goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of 2020, and we didn't hit it. And I don't think we hit it until March or April.
Yep.
And I was okay with it. I mean,
it is what it is.
It is what it is. Yeah. We're just kind of out here doing our best. And
yeah.
And
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that speaks to why your channel has a following. It does, right? Because you're genuine. You're not a caricature. You're not trying to put on something. And I think that's great.
Yeah. And that's something I learned early on in the YouTube game was don't try to put up a front. Because there's always somebody that will see through it. And, I'm a terrible actor. So
yeah, no, I'm with you.
Yeah. So, you know, we just do us. I'm definitely this boring in real life.
So am I. I'm awkward and
guys aren't
very
boring at
socially
all.
awkward.
We are a little socially awkward, and it comes.
I'm good with
on.
social media except for the social part.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's that little bit of quirkiness that I think people kind of like anyway. So,
yeah. No, I think that's great. Well, I really appreciate your time, and I really appreciate you guys coming on. And I mean, anyone that's watching this really needs to check out your channel. You do a great job in documenting your adventures. I think
Thank
that's.
you. We appreciate it.
I enjoy it. I think it's neat to see someone that's pushing it to something that's different. You know, you really feel like you're kind of along camping with you. Not that I've ever camped, so, you know, full disclosure, let's be honest, but, you know, I think that's really cool. Well, thanks. And I'm going to put a list to your channel and your social media as well. So everyone should definitely check it out. So guys, thank you so much, Brian and Heather. Thank you so much for coming on. And please make sure you check out their channel. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, that was fantastic. Thank you, guys.